Good morning, beautiful people of the internet. It's another sunny, shiny Sunday morning, and you're here with the Sunday special. We are missing Mr. Lawrence. He's at a kids' party, which sounds like he's going to have the time of his life. You know, he loves running around and eating jelly and ice cream, so he's in for the win. We've got Helen Chorley, who looks like she's in sunny old Blighty. She's back in the UK for a little bit.
I am. I'm back for
And
filming. Yeah.
Piotr is looking less sunny, which also means he's back in the UK.
Yes, yeah. Today is a special. Seems like we're all in the UK.
An Anglo Sunday special.
And when was the last time that happened? We were all in the same country.
Malta.
Malta. Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
This isn't it.
I keep hearing calls for Malta to happen again. So I've got to let the peer pressure build up on that one first, just a little bit. really get them gunning for it.
Yeah.
So we got anything to share? I think we did the Women in Construction Awards Friday night.
Yes.
Wasn't that amazing night?
It was you know what? It was actually really very good. I mean, there were quite a few people there that we knew, so it was kind of really good, like networky thing. You had Property Sisters UK there. You must have had a couple of tables knocking around.
3 tables, 30 of us. Yeah.
Yeah, you had Partners in Property.
Yeah.
They were kind of crowded round the table. That was a good table.
And the noisiest table in the room.
Yeah, whenever there was a shushing needed, it was directed at their table. Yeah, which they didn't disappoint. And then you had our table, the Hammered Auctions table, which was we had pretty much, with the exception of one person, everyone there was in the Auction Buyers Club. So it was a really we represent quite a high female demographic in the Buyers Clubs. I think we always have. So it was good getting out and getting there. The foundation that was kind of the awards were supporting, just unbelievable. I mean, we were I can't remember. I was talking to someone about this recently, and then Maggie Oliver just stood up and then just started talking about like how bad it is and there's no support, and and it really I've got a young daughter, and I think anyone who's got children, it's gonna hit quite hard, that whole thing. So if you haven't checked it out, it's the Maggie Oliver Foundation. Just see what they're into and what they do, and support if you can, because it's definitely worthwhile. And obviously the Women in Construction Awards, I had no idea half these companies were even out there, right? But then everyone who was given an award was like, they are female business owners in the construction industry. Pretty much all of them were, right? And it was there was that statistic that only 13% of the construction industry is female representative, right? So and that was I thought, wow, that was, for me, I thought that was quite a high number considering how many people were in construction. But I started applying it to like auctions, and there is no way auctions are anywhere near close. I mean, maybe
true
in the administrative side, or maybe fairly strong, but actually in terms of business owners and in terms of auctioneers, not really at all. So it makes you think. In obviously construction's one part of the industry, auction's one part of the industry, but like where you sit within your own market within the industry, how representative is that of not just women, but people of color, or people with certain physical disabilities or whatever it may be, because it comes down to being all inclusive rather than just ticking a box or whatever it may be.
I thought it was
good meetup.
I thought it was just such a good night. Like you said, it was nice to get exposure and hear about a different part of the property world that we're not normally kind of interacting as much with, but that's absolutely critical to doing what we do and getting, homes and houses built for people. And it was Michaela Wayne and Design and Build, and also Hayley Roberts as well, that organised it all. And honestly, it's been like a full-time job. There must have been over 350 people there, right? It was absolutely jam-packed. And yeah, you know, I was a judge for one of the categories, the female business owner category, and reading some of those applications and what the women have had to overcome, both personally and professionally. Honestly, it made me cry. Honestly, some of the applications. In fact, when I was going down, and because I knew Maggie would be speaking, obviously as well, and I was, I had my napkin at the ready, like I got me really emotional. I was like, ooh. So no, but absolutely, thank you everybody who came. All the ticket money has gone to the foundation, and there was, you know, the usual auction and everything. So they must have raised a fortune, which is really super. And you can support them, you know, from you know, a really small monthly amount on an ongoing basis. Thank you for sharing that, Dominic. Thank you. That's great. On an ongoing basis, because what I loved is that, and you could hear like why Michaela and like Maggie resonate so much with me. They won't take money off the police or any other outside. They are purely self-funded because they will not be censored and they will not be told what they can and cannot say. Both of them are, you know, Maggie had to leave the police to speak out about this. And she was a police officer, and they made the documentary about the Rochdale child grooming ring, and actually how that was smashed and how she was instrumental in that. So I'm not saying that's going to be light entertainment, but if you want to know more, kind of check that out. But I just love that these women are so passionate about what they do, and they just won't be stopped because they really believe in what they're doing. And yeah, no, and they're northern as well, so obviously
they went on a couple of levels there with you, Helen. But, you know, I think this is like but that final point that you made there, this is like a really, like, it's a really big deal, right? Because a lot of people are like, oh, it's difficult to do X, Y, and Z. Yeah, it really fucking is difficult to do anything, right? If you don't have a spine of steel and a cast iron determination, you're going to struggle. Doesn't matter, you know, there are certain industries or certain places where it's harder if you're black, or harder if you're a woman, or even harder if you're a black woman, or, you know, whatever it is, it's going to be harder. But no one really gets an easy ride. No one really gets. I mean, if you're born into money, yeah, maybe, you know, but the majority of people, the vast majority of people, if you don't have that in you, then you're not going to get to those heights. You're not going to break those ceilings. And no, it's a shame that those ceilings are there to break. But doesn't matter where you are. If I went into something else, there'd be ceilings that I'd have to break. There'd be ceilings that you'd have to break. You know what I mean? So you've got to respect and really admire the kind of tenacity of women in that construction zone to go, right, yeah, we're just going to do it. Because that's not easy. That's not easy by any standard, any reckoning.
No. I'm facing those challenges daily, but to me, it also illustrates, and I guess it's why I've been doing what I've been doing over the past few years, like standing up and telling your story, telling what you do and why you're doing it and what you've overcome. Because, you know, if that just inspires one extra person to think, you know what, like I could do that. She's done that. I could do that. Then that's what it's about. And that was the power of that evening as well. But I just hope people in that room who maybe hadn't applied for the awards this year looked at, you know, the people winning the awards, and actually all the finalists, all the applicants, you know, were honestly were mind blowing. It was a really, really high standard. And I just love other people to look at them and think, well, if they're doing it, like, you know, I could do it too. So
who was the person that won the award in the category you were judging?
Rianne Scott. Yeah, super inspirational. I think she cried, didn't she? I think most of them cried, God bless them, which is also testament to, you know, like the humility of these people as well. It's not like, you know, that they're out there and they're applying for these things for the glory so they can say, I'm the big I am. It's just, you know, it's what I try and encourage people to do, and you do, Jay, you know, with Property Investor Awards and all the other stuff, you know, HMO awards we've got coming up in a couple of weeks. You know, we try and get people to apply for them just to get the recognition, to help them help themselves. And again, as we talked about it last week, I think, didn't we? Like going through that application process and looking at how far you've come. You know, we're always looking forward or on to the next thing, but
That's
actually that
empowering
little
itself.
period of reflection, to just say, to look back and think, oh my God, do you remember that? Do you remember that? And oh my God, I can't believe we actually achieved that. Jack Jiggins has done a great podcast with Will Mallard. He mentions that, doesn't he? So I think it's the one with Max Red. I think it's the one where we talk about the Property Investor Awards, but that's really worth listening to. And I just love celebrating wins. Yay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's so important. One of the things you just mentioned there, I think it's important to have representative role models. So I can look on the TV and I can see someone and go, okay, I can associate myself with that person. I can see they're doing well, so that gives me hope that I can, right? But there's a lot of people out there who don't have representative role models. They can see, if you could divide everything as binary as possible, you can see that there are men doing well, there are women doing well. I'm a man, you're a woman, you can do well, you can do that. But there are so many other kind of subcategories that people put themselves into or relate more strongly to than they do their own gender or whatever it may be. So in that respect becomes really very important. But I just thought that was brilliant.
We could go off in a whole identity tangent. It brings back my philosophy of mind studies.
Oh, yeah. We could end up getting completely cancelled on that.
Oh
God.
Do you know what? I was telling someone this story. I actually think you can. I don't know quite how to say it, but I think you can also be inspired from a negative example as well. And certainly that's
I so don't want to be this person, right? This is the last thing I want to become. I don't want the industry to be like this or whatever it is. You want to go, right, I have to be the complete antithesis of this person or of this practice. 100%.
And that, I was telling somebody that was a lot of my driver initially as well. I saw somebody talking a lot of horse shit and believing their own hype. And I'm just like, why are people listening to this person? And I just, and God bless her, she really inspired me to step up and say, actually, it's not really like this. And she's talking horse shit. And she says one thing and does another. So move over, missus, because let's just set the record straight here a bit.
Helen's in town. Yeah.
It was good. It was great to also meet some, bump into so many people. I had a couple of people as I was standing with some drinks just outside. They were like, I know you. Sunday special.
Yeah, we've made it. We're famous. Bless.
I only managed to sit down at one of the Property Sisters tables. I didn't even get all the way around. I bumped into Ruth Hobbs.
Yeah.
Literally for 10 seconds. And I was at one point I was going to try and find her to have a chat, but there were so many people. And it was so many good people that you want to talk to and hang around with.
Yeah.
It was a really good night.
It was a great crowd. And like you say, actually a lot of the sisters were saying, we feel like we know each other because we were every week on Zoom during lockdown. But a lot of us hadn't met people in real life. And it's like you're there and you feel like you know the person, but you haven't actually ever, shaken hands with them or given them a hug before. And no, it was really nice. It was really nice to see. Yeah, it was, it was cool. Lovely bonding experience.
Yes, indeed. And as anyone read Adam's supplement this morning?
I did. It was a fairly decent, not too scathing summary of all of the dumb fuckery that has taken place in Boris Johnson's tenure.
Wow.
It was. He picks things apart really well. I mean, I kind of, you read it and you think, I don't want Adam to be upset with me. I don't want to wake up this morning and there's a Sunday supplement about all the fuck ups I've seen since I've known Jay or something like that. But it's done in his kind of eponymous style. He's it's kind of broken down. There's facts, there's figures, there's a couple of jabs and jibes and things like that. But yeah, it was actually really good. If no one's read it, it'll be on the Partners in Property Facebook group. The link there. Most of the hosts normally share it, and it's on LinkedIn as well. I think I read it on LinkedIn. So yeah, it'll be found anywhere. But it was really good. There was a news. I think what's her name? Liz Truss was speaking to some this morning at like 9 o'clock this morning. And the interviewer was like, "So what's the energy thing? What are you going to do?" And she goes, "Oh, well, we have some really good plans. Build them until I'm in." And I was like, "Oh, why would you do that?" I mean, it's already like the toxic traits already there.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll tell you once I'm in power. It's scary.
Yeah.
Is it pretty much?
I was reading some statistics. Gone.
Oh no, go ahead.
I was saying I was reading some statistics. I mean, they'll be better delivered by Adam, I'm sure, but it was something like 44% or 54% of Germany's energy was provided by Russia and Ukraine and things like that, and France was like at 24 or 14 or so. Numbers don't really mean that much, but it was basically like apparently the UK's reliance on Russia was 4% of their energy.
Wow.
Now in Germany, their energy's gone up like 20%. In France, it's gone up 14 or 16%. In the UK, it's gone up 200 and something percent. And everyone's like, how? What part of this actually makes sense? Because it's it's just crazy. It really makes you think, like,
an energy companies. Yeah, what was it? 170 billion profit last year or something. It's just
that's and they're expecting that to really jump over the next 2 to 3 years.
Wow. Yeah, something doesn't add up there, does it?
No, I mean my maths isn't phenomenal at the best of times or the worst of times, but even I'm looking at that going,
Jack,
there's something wrong here.
Interesting. And is this that the Liz Truss coming into power is like pretty obvious, or is it? I haven't been following the recent weeks.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. That seems to be the noise everybody's making.
Yeah, just does, doesn't it? I saw a clip of a Kay Burley interview with her, and I can't remember exactly the exact kind of words, but she said, "So you were pro this, and now you're anti this. You were pro this, and now you're anti this. You were anti this, and now you're pro this." And she just went through this list of like 7 things. And she's, more or less said, like, can we trust you to tell the truth? And like, your example, it's like, right, well, I'm not going to tell you till I'm in power. Well, yeah, because you've already been shown up for doing U-turn spectacular style. So,
well, it's this whole popularist politics, isn't it? Like she'll blow whichever way the wind is favourable, right? And that seems to be what they all do now. Yeah. There is no one that just stands there and says, "No, it's this. I believe this, and it doesn't matter what comes out, I'm sticking to that." And there are exclusions to that, right? If something comes out, if new scientific data comes out, or something comes out and says, actually, that's wrong, you should reconsider this opinion based on all of these things, then yeah, do that. But actually, if all that changes is public opinion or voting swing, then I don't believe you're a strong leader. You can't lead if a gust of wind will blow you in the opposite direction.
Yep. Yeah,
that's very true. I think politics become like a super populist thing, right? You just need to appeal to people. It's a bit like a social media politics kind of thing, where you just need to make things with filters and with looking beautiful.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they don't work, or they don't carry their kind of. I don't know. Like it seems like social media influence politics right now a lot. Okay. But anyway,
clickbait and sensationalist. It's very tabloid almost, isn't it? It's,
Mm.
you know. Actually, when I was younger, actually, thinking before I went to Oxford, I really fancied going into politics, and then I kind of like grew up and worked out what it was really about, and went off that very rapidly. Can you imagine me? It wouldn't have lasted long as a politician, would I?
What would you have imagined yourself doing in politics?
Oh, I wanted to be prime minister. I think I was on a complete power trip.
You're gonna do it well, right? I mean, there's no half measures here, Helen.
Let's not aim low. All or nothing.
All or nothing. That's great.
There's a female MP I really like, because she just says it how it is. Like, she's like, zero BS. There's actually two of them. There's I've got to try and I'll find their details. I'm trying to figure out which ones they are, because
is it Dominique? There's one called Dominique.
Let's have a look.
I think her name's Dominique. I love her. She's always on GB News. I love her. She's awesome. And actually, GB News were at the awards, weren't they, on Friday, filming bits and pieces. So check that out. You might see some.
This is really bad. I've just put vocal female MPs into Google, and the first thing that came up was 10 hottest female MPs.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
Oh, God.
Oh, I said that.
No, okay, that's one way to put it. What's it? Is it? I think her name is it? Yes, Jess Phillips.
Right.
She is. She just zero BS, and if she hears it, she just calls it out. I think she's been like asked to leave the Commons once or twice because she refused to apologise for some language. It's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
I'll have her for PM, please.
Yes, Phillips.
She sounds cool.
Yeah, I can't remember the other one, but she's like she's like the mum that, like, you know, if everyone like would go out and get muddy in the woods or whatever and then come back, they'd all go to that mum's house and they'd all track mud throughout the house, and then she'd be the one that would tell them how it is.
Yeah.
You know? You come in my house with those muddy shoes, you know. One of those that just go nuts at somebody. Any minor infraction. I think it's brilliant. That's someone that's got a bit of backbone, I think. That's what's needed. Yeah, probably will never get in because it's not all popularist stuff, but yeah.
Where's she from? Which part of the country she's representing?
I don't know. It's every time she speaks, I listen because she makes such sense. So
yeah. She's from Birmingham, Yardley, and she's a shadow minister for domestic violence and safeguarding.
Oh,
interesting.
Good role.
I guess it's a good role for someone like that.
Yeah.
You need to be very vocal and very straight up.
Yeah.
Okay, what's in store for this week, Helen? Are you in the UK for a while, or?
Yeah, so filming this week, series 5. Can you believe it? We've not killed each other yet, although I don't know. Let's check back in on that on Friday. We'll see.
What?
I guarantee I'm still going to be alive by the end of the week. I can't vouch for the other 4. But yes, 3 days back-to-back filming. We've got at least 6 pitches per day. So I'm just really going to be running on caffeine and adrenaline. So, yes. So let's see what state I'm in by the weekend. But no, it will be fun. I love hearing people come in and pitch their ideas. And, you know, we see all kinds of different people, different geographies, different types of projects, people at different levels or different stages of, you know, kind of the journey in property, from really new beginners to really experienced people. And that's always fun for me because, you know, you're asking questions. You obviously want to know about the deal and you're trying to make a decision really quickly. Like we get about, well, officially we kind of get 20 minutes to kind of like film each slot, but very often we go over because we're still asking questions. We're still trying to get to the nitty gritty of a deal, but also you're trying to, you know, make a judge on the person as well as the deal. Can they deliver what they say they're going to deliver? You know, what has their experience been? How have they managed things in the past? So it's a really, you know, I love, like, it's fun to do, but I also love it kind of from a human behavior perspective. You're trying to like assess this person and, you know, work out kind of like, are we exaggerating? Are we stretching truths in there, or are we fully grounded in reality? And, you know, it's no, it's a really fun experience.
It must be quite important because it's not just does the deal stack, it's do I want to give this person money to follow through with it, right? That's a really big part of the process as well.
It's a really big thing for me. I think less so for the guys, maybe because they've got like teams of people around them, and well, most of the guys do. John does most of his stuff himself, but like if I have to speak to somebody every day, I'm just very like sensitive energetically. I have to think about, can I speak and work with this person, you know, every day? Because at some points of that project, it is going to be every day. And if somebody drains my energy, and that's no reflection on them, like I know lovely people who just drain my energy because we're just kind of not aligned. I can't do that. I can't do that to myself, or certainly from a physical health perspective, I just can't do that. That doesn't mean they're not a great person. It doesn't mean that the deal doesn't stack up. But sometimes I'm like, it's just too much effort for me to take that project on at the moment. So, you know, people are like, oh, you never do a deal. I'm like, actually, I think you'll find I do lots of deals. They just aren't necessarily on TV. And trying to make, you know, when it's my personal, I'm not juggling with, you know, somebody else, like, you know, a big funder. This is my personal money on the line, right? So I have to ask a lot of questions, and I have to have, you know, a high degree of certainty in the person. And I think it's a real skill. And I hope we could do something in the future whereby like we help people kind of get better at getting that message across, because yeah, trying to do it in 20 minutes is quite a challenge. But yeah, no, hopefully this time. I have made some offers. I made some offers on the last series, but I wasn't chucked. I'm not bitter, Ranger. I'm not bitter at all. Homer. Yes.
Yeah.
What's the best deal you've ever funded or participated in?
It was ringing me. Sorry, say that again.
What's the best deal you've ever participated in or funded, or what's that?
All of the out of all of them. Oh,
yeah.
I've got different favorites, but for different reasons. Like, there's a developer over in West London, does a lot of stuff over there, and he's a really fun person. He's great at investor relations. He just knows what he does, and it's like you two with auctions. When you found your thing, he just loves. He eats, breathes, sleeps development. He just loves it. So yeah, so actually I've done a few with him that they were fun. I really liked one that I did with Crowd with Us. I talked about it a lot with Shola of Salt Futures, because I just loved like chatting with him. Actually, I was speaking to him this week. Yeah, we're still friends, still looking to do stuff together, because I just love the way his mind works. It's the only deal I've ever been paid back early on.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's a success.
That's a nice one. Yeah, and I'm involved in a very big deal at the moment, and that's with some really fun people that I've wanted to work with for a while. So I can't say too much about that yet, but that hopefully that will be my favorite deal. I think you've always like, oh, maybe the next one will be my favorite deal, and us three still need to do one. That will be my total favorite deal.
That would be the best deal, Helen.
Yeah,
we did. There's still a little part of me, you know, we did try to do one, didn't we? That auction one that, you know, it was on and then it was off and then it was on and then it was off. And there's part of me that still, yeah, it's a bit sad that didn't happen. It really felt like that was my deal.
Yeah, it's the next deal is in the pipeline.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
We've
What
got a fairly
by
decent
Chris?
pipeline at the moment, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, um,
Awesome.
yeah. Hopefully by Christmas there will be a deal to be funded by Helen.
Yeah, that would be good timing actually, because I'm due some money back before Christmas. So, yay!
Let's
Nice.
do it.
And then you can check in with us every Sunday morning how the project is going. Publicly, public accountability thing.
Oh my god, yeah, that would be like public investor relations call.
No, it's good. I think we've been meeting up with some auctioneers this week, and we've been speaking to people who also want to buy things and do deals. But I recently, I guess there's a bit of a sentiment in the market where people feel that there will be more and more deals coming up
Right.
in the next months, which I think it's a really great opportunity, because every time people think there will be the wait in order to get better deals in the future, there's actually great deals to be done like right now, because
Yeah.
the competition is kind of wiped out, or not
People
so
are
much
waiting.
wiped out.
Yeah.
But people are waiting, people are uncertain, and I think your pipeline with deals is going to be expanding pretty quickly. That's my opinion. Cool. What else we chatting about? What's been the highlights of the week? What's the highlight of the next couple of weeks?
Well, Jay and I have also got, not this week, it's next week, isn't it, Jay? The Property Investor Awards judging days. 2 days.
Yes, yeah. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was at some stage, at some point. Yeah.
Actually,
yeah.
and you need to tell me which day you are. I'm the 14th, I think.
Are you going to be here, or are you going to be in Malta?
Well, that remains to be seen. We'll see how, if I survive this week first. Then I'm going to make a call.
Because I mean,
I'd like to be here. I'd like to be here in person and actually be in the room and meet the people, because I got on really well with one of the lovely ladies that from the last time, and we had some good chats afterwards. But actually, would really like Friday night. Would really like to meet people in person. So I'm going to try and stay around, but we'll see how my health is doing.
Well, I mean, I normally I do both days, but actually things are so busy at the moment that I don't think I can be in person both days. Like I could be in person one day and then do the Zoom on the other day. So let me know if you're still around, because I'll make sure I'm in. Because I told them I'll judge both days anyway, so it's not a problem. But
I like doing both days because I like seeing the. Well, it was my first year last year, right? So I wanted to do both days last year to understand the process, to understand what we're looking for, how we're judging people, what metrics. And it was really good to understand, who's out there, what they're doing, what their speciality is. And I really loved when we pick up the phone, because the applicants are warned about this, but we can, if we need more clarification as judges, if we've got some questions that weren't addressed on the very thorough application form, we can pick up the phone, like group phone, to them and ask them some questions. So, I mean, the one that I remember from last year, Jay, I don't know who stood out for you, but when we called Max up for the Young Property Investor of the Year, Max Rayner, Stuart Clinton Properties, and it was a very impressive application, and you're like, can he really have done all this at that that young age?
That was the Coventry social housing one, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, no, that was a good deal. That was a good deal. I mean, that one stood out because they're both young, like properly young, and they're like, we're going to go out and we're going to get it done, and they did, and it was really impressive. Like the Farringdon sisters, that HMO that was like an entire city, and how they structured that. I mean, I'm not an HMO person, but that blew my socks off.
Oh, wasn't it? That was seriously, just honestly, wow, just wow.
Then was the name of the chap who had basically forward funded this eco housing development,
Yes.
And figuring out how he did that, because that became exceptionally, because he almost all of his construction costs were covered, right? Because,
Yeah.
even and he's like, we're just doing the final 3 or 4 where like that's all the profit sits, and that was very impressive as well.
James Greencourt, yeah. No, super chat.
Yeah, but I mean, there were so many good ones. There was like even the Savoy guys with
Yeah,
their
they won
the
a
deal
few.
of the year.
Yeah.
Commercial property with uppers, they got the rear unit thrown in as part of the deal, so it cost them nothing.
Yeah.
And then they did PD and turned it into like a 1-bedroom flat or something and sold it for 400,000 or had it revalued at 400,000. It's just kind of like
money out of thin air, literally.
I mean, the deal on the front part stacked, and it looked like it was a tidy little deal. You'll do those if you had the chance.
Yeah.
But then just to have a £400,000 bolt-on on the back that cost you 0, wasn't factored into your valuation. No, that was a very tidy little deal.
Yeah.
But no, that's it. And there's like, the Savoy guys, and there's 3 or 4 others. They apply for everything because they do a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Or they, they like what they call the shared accommodation kind of people, where it's like the same 4 companies that are doing it. Those are ones where I think there are so many people that do social housing or shared accommodation or whatever it is, where there's an element of social, not just HMOs. There's a social element to it. There's so many people out there doing it that just maybe they don't know that there's an award. Like submit your property in, because people are doing some amazing stuff, and I don't think anyone really gets to see it, and it's a shame.
It is, because it just helps. It can help on so many aspects. Like Ruth talks about this a lot. When her and Gillian won the award a few years ago, was that 2019? Like they were having money thrown at them. So given that getting deals funded is one of the most common things we hear, that's a challenge for developers. If you can have some recognition about the great stuff that you are doing, then that's already building credibility, in the eyes of potential investors. That's making your own life easier. It opens a lot of doors, doesn't it? It really does. It's then a lot of kind of exposure comes off the back of that, interviews and podcasts, and again, you just never know who's listening to them. So no, I think it's a great opportunity. And I don't know, like, who doesn't want a pat on the back? Like, if I've done something amazing, I want someone to go, oh, well done, like, that's really cool.
Nice. I get a couple of comments. One from Ed, who almost succeeded in making us do it.
We were really bloody close to.
And I was that close.
Ooh.
It's I don't know. It's still I'm a bit allergic to things that require refurbishment.
See, to be honest, if it was me and Piotr looking at the deal, we wouldn't have given it a second thought, right? But because we thought, actually, if we did it with Ed would be able to deliver a really sharp refurb on cost and all that kind of stuff. So that's where the temptation got us. It was really bloody close.
It was like a house in Somerset, and it looked really cheap in the auction, but we decided. I mean, our maximum was a bit lower, but still, it was close.
It was close.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Exciting. Oh, is that Piotr? Oh, yeah. Okay. All having Wi-Fi challenges today.
Yeah, I think my connection is a little.
That's Ed. Ed sabotaged your Wi-Fi because you didn't do the deal with him.
He will get next. Okay. Great. It's next subject. Conversation.
I don't know. Just because it arrived today, I got this in the post.
What is this, Jay?
Look at this.
Is it?
It is
It's a
carved.
stone.
It's a geode filled with black amethyst.
Ooh. Ooh, I want to touch
It
it.
is super rare, and it's got some crystalline inclusions in it as well that kind of run across. So if you put it near like a light and it kind of shimmers back, it kind of looks like a night sky because it's like gleaming stars and things like that.
Cool. Wow.
But I've got a friend that when they see like rare things like this or interesting things like this, I get the phone call and I'm like, yeah, send it to me, I'll have it. Bit of a magpie. Sparkles, I'll have it.
Love it.
Nice one.
We got any more comments? Any more questions?
Collect.
Oh, we got Kim's. I think Kim's just commented. I think Piotr's frozen again.
But he's frozen, looking really happy.
Somehow.
That's a really good freeze frame that was, Piotr.
It was.
So, guys, I think my connection is really bad. No idea why. I'm back.
You're back. You're back.
Am I back?
You're back. You're back.
Cool. I think my connection is pretty bad. But yeah, I've got a couple of comments. So keep saying she loved watching the live deal on Auction Buyers Club. That was we covered the whole thing quite in detail, and also the bidding was during our weekly call on the Auction Buyers Club. So
cool.
Always like when it happens, when it's like dynamic. It's one thing we like about the Auction Buyers Club. It's a kind of place where real deals happen, and it kind of like it's not theoretical. It's like deal based, deal focused.
Yeah.
It's always like when it happens.
So it's a good environment for us to be in as well, right? Because you can get complacent sometimes, and then you see some of them do the deals, and you're like, "It's a good deal. I want to do that deal." And then we're like, "Okay, now we have to do a deal. We have to find a deal." So it's a really cool kind of. I mean, you know, Helen, you were there, but it's a really cool environment to just go right. Yeah, let's do this. Get deals done and good deals. Yeah.
And actually to have all those eyes on one deal as well. And it's, that's part of what's good about Elevator. We all come from a slightly different angle. So we're going to ask slightly different questions depending on our speciality or our interest. But with the Auction Buyers Club as well, like you've got all those eyes on one deal. So you can pick it apart in a way that you just couldn't do by yourself, no matter how much experience you've got, because even somebody kind of relatively new will bring fresh eyes and think of things in a different way.
Yeah. It's I mean, there's some really good people in the club, and everyone comes from a different.
Yeah.
To people that do developments, and there's a little bit of everything in there. So it's really nice. It's really nice.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I think I don't know if my connection is still okay. I think I can hear you with a bit of a delay, but maybe because of that connection, it's we could finish this a little bit early so that it's not interrupted with technical issues. And next week, I guess we'll be back to our normal environment.
Yes. Well, I'll still be in London,
No?
but yes.
You'll be in London. Okay.
You'll be home, will you?
I'll be back home. I'll be back home tonight. So.
Sunshine.
I hope it will be sunshine. But yeah, brilliant. Anything we need to say before we wrap up, or we expressed everything?
Yeah, I showed off my shiny rock. I'm done for the day.
I live in hope of being able to show off a shiny rock.
That's it.
One day.
A shine big enough to eclipse the sun, Helen.
Oh, lovely. All right, guys. Well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yeah,
And
have a lovely weekend, everyone.
yes, have a great weekend, guys. Bye.
Bye bye.